Welcome back everyone to Devlog 4. As you can hear, I'm slightly sick, but I should get through this just fine. There has been some major changes since last devlog, at least to me it feels like that. Let's get into the new stuff. For start, we fixed the bug where you can move and interact with all items on a tile, and this is now ready to be sent for the first round of testing to see what bugs I missed in the inventory system. I also added a script that runs in the editor. It checks the event chest set for all the colors and display them in an array. It will help a lot to set up tiles and their colors from map generation. Targeted enemy is now untargeted if pressed on again, or if the target is too far away. The enemy also returns to idle state if you are too far away. Walls are up in the world, and also blocks the tile. Next, to rotate them the correct way. This will take some tinkering. First house generation is done. It doesn't differentiate between inner and outer sides of the wall yet, but it looks nicer. The outside and inside is now determined by the floor tiles. It was the easiest, and I can now decide what will be inside and outside by painting a floor. Still needs some variation of the crossing. I guess to wait until I start working on ruins. Now I want to move on to bushes and furniture instead. There's some questionable trees and bushes, but it does add some detail to the world. Some furniture has been drawn. Also the box and chest has an inventory. For sure that inventory does not work for all clients, so it doesn't synchronize over all clients. I'll deal with that later. And the helper function now allows me to set the player spawn tile in the editor. This will speed up the testing with quite a margin. The table now blocks both tiles. I have to make it work for rotated tables as well. The table now rotates depending on what tiles are drawn to have the table on them. This should hopefully work for larger objects as well, as I can decide the size of the object when I create this object scene. Enemies now respawn according to spawn area from a spawn map. And instead of following that, I can add a spawn map and it automatically adds an enemy spawn area for each color on the map. Also works with updating the map without having to remake all the array items, which is just handy. And I also added a similar system to the map generation. This makes it a lot easier to create maps. It also makes the image, like the detection tool I made earlier in this video, entirely useless. Or redundant, I should say. And my first tester bug fixed. The tester had found by mistake a bug that when you had 4 or more sacks stacked and tried to add them into a new item in the world, it got stuck in an infinite loop. The bug was a mistake in the naming of the dictionary keys. Thank you, I'll avenge it. More items and equipment slots have been added. Seems like I have a bug in the weight calculations though. I fixed the weight calculation bug and also added a to-do list that will also list release notes. I think this will be good for players to have me to look back at to see what got added in which release. Elevations now work in single player. Needed to change quite a few systems, and the result of that is that a player can't even start the game at the moment. So that's next to be fixed. I'm using different player parents for different elevation maps. It's like stacking maps on top of each other, and then I just hide the top map if you go down. Progress at least loads the other client now, but still have quite a few bugs to fix with elevation changes. Might have been too eager to add this function. Should instead have added a smaller function and made that work, so I would have had a playable release for this devlog. But it's what you get for flying too close to the sun. And some more things are now fixed, so now I can go up and down, fly and see other players. Still have an issue if a player is on another elevation than the base one. When a player joins, they will forever be invisible to the new player. And finally fixed that as well. Just before the release of this video. The issue was that the multiplayer spawner that handles synchronizing players over all clients didn't know what to do with the new reparented player. For the spawner to actually handle the new player, I need to trigger the ready signal, which is emitted after the ready function has been called. But I can ask the player to redo the ready function. I ask for it after removing it from its old parent, but before adding it to its new parent. So when it gets added to its new parent, it also runs the ready function again and everything works. This took quite some thinking to figure out, but hey, that summarizes what I've done the last month. The elevation video is such a large thing that I'm probably gonna work on some other smaller stuff in between, specifically optimizing the tile map and adding a helper command line tool for the server. But you will see that next month. But for now, thank you all so very much for watching. Until next time. See ya.